You're listening to the GeekCast Radio Network of podcasts.
Cliff Jumper, commence countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers, more than meets the eye.
Tune in next week for a much better episode. For now, though, courage.
Hello, and welcome to the 36th episode of ToyCast, sponsored by BigBadToyStore.com, where right now you can save from 20 to 90% on over 1,700 items. I'm your host, DFG Mike, and joining me is General Techno. Hello.
Hello there.
How are you?
Okay. I'm doing alright right now.
Yes. I'm trying to think here. I don't know. I ordered some more Mighty Mugs this past week because I'm really starting to love them. It's not just the Transformers, it's pretty much all of them. I think the only ones that I'm iffy on is the Star Wars ones, just because I just don't know. I don't know. But since I already have all the Transformers ones, I've started collecting the Marvel ones. The first one I got in was Human Torch. He is awesome. And the other two, I've never actually ordered anything from Hasbro Toy Shop, but I ordered Hulk and Wolverine from them back on the 5th of January. And for some strange reason, when I ordered it, I said standard shipping. I wasn't going to pay the astronomical price that they want for overnight shipping. So,
of course.
I said standard shipping, said 7 to 10 business days. I ordered these on the 5th, and it has not been 7 or 10 business days. They were here tonight. Yeah, because I had a box in front of my door when I came home, and I'm like, and it said Hasbro. It said Hasbro Incorporated on it. It didn't say Hasbro Toy Shop. It just said Hasbro Incorporated. I'm like, why would Hasbro be sending me stuff? I'm not a celebrity. And then I open it, and I'm like, I see the green part of the box for Hulk. I'm like, oh, cool, it's the Mighty Mugs I ordered. Good deal.
See, at least I've heard that they're pretty good with shipping to the U.S. in that sense, in terms of getting stuff fast, even with the regular shipping. Yeah. So it really I think it really depends on the item. Like, they're probably more just covering their butts if they're really busy at one point.
Yeah.
But
let's see what else is going on. Not much else is really going on. Hopefully I'm going to be, of course my birthday is still a month away, hopefully I'm going to be going to Toys R Us out by the mall and see what Mighty Mugs that they have there, because like I said, these things are awesome. They just are. Mm-hmm. I'm going to turn the video on really quick just to show you the Wolverine one, because oh my god.
Is this a Logan one?
No, this is yellow spandex Wolverine.
Which is this, the classic costume or the modern costume?
No, classic. Yellow and blue spandex.
No, I'm asking because the classic is different than the current one. So, okay, yeah, that's classic.
Yeah.
So, because the modern one is a bit different. It's still blue and yellow, but it's different.
Well, this is the XTAS one.
I'm not sure if I like how wide his mouth is, though. Honestly.
Well,
I'm not a big fan of the face, but well.
I mean, it's not.
It kind of works.
Yeah. I mean, I just and the claws are kind of weird because they kind of like bend into each other.
They should have gone the route of the original Wolverine and given him whiskers on his outfit.
I don't know about that. What do you mean? The things on his ears?
No, I mean like the original Wolverine design, like that appeared in the issue where he fought the Hulk. He had whiskers.
Okay, see, I only know Wolverine from the X-Men series and the
that was his one appearance before X-Men. He actually appeared in an issue of the Hulk where the Hulk's attacking Canada or whatever, and they send Wolverine at him because he's working for the Canadian government at that point.
Well, here's Hulk.
Yeah, I honestly don't like those Mighty Mugs nearly as much as the Transformers ones.
Well, the Transformers ones have a lot more articulation and design. I mean, the Marvel ones have, design to them. Like, with Human Torch, his head is a giant flame.
Okay. Well, maybe we should start with you then in terms of the reviews, since you were showing me all these Mighty Mugs.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me, the way I'm going to actually turn this video off, save on bandwidth and all that happy crap. But
because now that I've seen Human Torch, I can kind of comment on him. So.
Yeah, I dig him, and really, honestly, the main reason why I dig the Marvel Mighty Mugs now, and I will continue to pimp this guy's channel. I'm actually probably going to have him on ToyCast at some point, like an interview thing, like why he started up.
Right.
It's Jason Henry. His YouTube name is Redhead Henry. He started up a show called Superhero Mugs, and he films his mugs and all that. He takes pictures and then puts it together through film and makes like little, episodic type of deals with these Marvel Mighty Mugs, and it's just a really, really cool show. And it just got me wanting to buy more of these mugs.
Cool.
I'm actually.
Yeah, I know what that kind of thing's like.
Yeah, exactly.
See Transformers cartoons.
Yes, exactly. I'm probably going to talk about Human Torch tonight because, I don't know, I think he's really cool. He kind of has a glow-in-the-dark effect to him, a little bit, not really. But if you hold, but if you put him like next to like your monitor, say, and don't have any other lights on other than your monitor, his head part where the flame is, it's not truly translucent, but it almost is.
Nice. I did like the look of that Human Torch that you showed me there. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, he does.
I like them the best of those three that we got. So,
yeah.
Maybe it's just because of the fire effects.
Oh, yeah. Well, the fire effects are cool on this one because if you take him and same thing with the glowing hair flame thingy deal. If you take him and put him right next to a light so the light goes through the back of his head, his face glows. Cool. It's kind of like fully on, like full facial light piping, basically. Awesome. And one thing I noticed about him on his right eye, I didn't show this to you in the video. On his right eye, his eyebrow is like perked up, like like come here. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, really.
Sounds like Johnny Storm right there.
I'm probably, because I am talking about him, I'm probably going to when I do post-production on this episode, I'm probably going to go back and get my Fantastic Four film and rip out when he says "flame on," because that's the only thing that I currently have available for Human Torch. Oh, I know I can go on YouTube and look for the cartoon, but the cartoon kind of sucked.
What about their appearance on the Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s?
Yeah, that's true. I can find that.
Who voiced him then? But yeah, go on about Human Torch.
Human Torch. Again, these are very different than the Transformers ones. They're pretty much whatever their main, like you said, classics design or design that everybody knows them from is pretty much what it is. He does have he is mainly orange. He does have a bunch of different lighter yellows and oranges. I think they really did well on the detailing because on his chest, like where I'm trying to think, like where on the Mighty Mugs Megatron chest you have the Decepticon symbol. On his chest you have the Fantastic Four symbol, but it's all like in those orange and reddish colors. It's just really cool, and the main like design for him is this flame head, these flames on his head, and it's just really cool. I like him a lot. And he's got this smile on his face, like, oh yeah, I'm cool. I know I'm cool, even though he's burning hot, but.
Yeah, I'm just reading about the guy who voiced him. There's actually two people that voiced him back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like it was like there was the Fantastic Four TV show where he actually had 2 different voice actors.
Right.
And then on Spider-Man, on the 90s series, he had the second voice actor. So
Who are they?
it was Brian Austin Green in season 1 and Quentin Flynn from then onwards for the 90s cartoons.
That's cool. I don't know. I think I like Chris Evans' version better, but that's just my own personal opinion. But overall, he's really cool. I really, really enjoy him. I'm glad I've got him. And just having these like in person, I mean, seeing pictures is great, but just having these in person, it's like it makes me want to buy them all. It's like, forget Pokemon, I got to catch all these guys, so. But it's just it's very, very cool. So that's pretty much all I have to say. Well, Wolverine, you're not drunk. Stand up.
Yeah, I can't think of much else to comment about Human Torch.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really cool figure. And again, with the Marvel ones, there isn't, like, there's some cool aspect designs on them, but they're really, it's not like the Transformers ones, where you have, because the Transformers are robots, obviously, where you have design aesthetics that you could take from the original toys or from the cartoon series. Like Shockwave is a perfect example with his gun and his little hose thing. Or, Grimlock is another perfect example with putting the Tyrannosaurus head design painted on the back of him. With these, it's basically your usual uniform superhero and, some, articulation, or not articulation, some design, like Wolverine has his claws. The other Wolverine, I think it was one of the SDCC exclusive ones, has retractable claws, which I think is pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen that in a Mighty Mug, but this one does not have retractable ones. But I like it, though. It's really cool.
Yeah, just a sec. I'll just be right back. Just a minute.
Okay.
So I just got called.
So, well, he's going somewhere. Mighty Mugs, as I've said before, you can say what you want about them. I think they're cool. I really like these guys. Can't wait to get them all, or get all the currently released ones, and just see what kind of poses and little stage things I can do with them. Okay, well, I guess I'm done talking about Human Torch. Who are you going to be talking about?
I'm going to be talking about one of the Transformers Encore releases. As you guys know, I'm not really a G1 person. I don't know if I've said it on the show much, but the big thing, even though I'm well aware that it's because of limitations at the time, I'm not that interested in G1 because I don't have the huge nostalgia value for it that some people have, and I demand high levels of posability and stuff that I buy in general, which is why I like the modern ones and the current universe ones right now. But I made an exception in a few cases. There are some G1 figures that I do like because of certain novelties and stuff. The Insecticons are one set, for instance, simply because they're the Insecticons and they're awesome. And another example would be, I guess, Soundwave, because he's Soundwave, but this one really grows out of Soundwave, because Soundwave, one of the things that made Soundwave so awesome was the fact that he could launch tapes. And the tape Transformers always intrigued me. I have my reissue Soundwave with Ravage and Laserbeak, and I quite like those. And then I found out Encore was doing tapes. And so, I'm going to be talking about one of the Encore sets of cassettes, the Encore 17. It's the cassette Big Mission 2 set. This was the second set of cassettes that Hasbro released. There's been 3 that were released. The third one I do want to pick up at some point. And this one has 4 G1 cassettes reissued with it, 2 Autobots, 2 Decepticons. It's got Steeljaw and Ramhorn on the Autobot side for Blasters tapes. And on the Decepticon side, it has Slugfest and everyone's favorite accountant, Ratbat.
Fuck Ratbat.
What do you have against Ratbat?
Alright, I bought one of those. It wasn't one of those. It was one of those eBay auctions. Somebody was selling off the original G1 versions.
These weren't those knockoffs?
No, they weren't knockoffs. They were the original G1 versions. So I bought 6 of them, like 3 2-packs. So it was Rumble and Laser. I don't know. It was some combination of Rumble and somebody ravaging somebody and Ratbat somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my Ratbat tape, I loved the tape part of it. Went to transform him, his head fell off, and I couldn't get the wings to stay where they were supposed to. So yeah, that's my issue with the Ratbat cassette.
Well, I'll talk about Ratbat first then. First of all, my Ratbat doesn't have the problems that you mentioned yours does. I actually had a knockoff Ratbat before this that I picked up at TFCon when Ages 3 and Up, who at the time they'd gotten in a lot of hot water with Hasbro for all the knockoffs that they'd been selling on their site. Because they were like where you went to buy G1 knockoffs.
Yeah.
And then Hasbro finally took the hammer down on them, and then they let them sell off whatever they had left at TFCon. So they were like liquidating knockoffs that really, like, these are high quality knockoffs too, not crap ones.
Right.
They were liquidating these things at ridiculously good prices. Like, we're talking things like they were selling, like the cassettes, I can't remember how much they were, but like they were selling the reflector sets for pretty cheap as well. And just overall a lot of knockoffs, and I think they got rid of everything. But anyway, I got the G1, but anyway, that one was a bit floppy and stuff. But overall okay. And then I got the G1 Encore release, and really, it's a lot better than it's pretty solid. The only thing that's really loose on him is his ears. The ears like to flop, but they do stay up. But they still do stay up if I pose the head properly.
Mm-hmm.
And as for the wings, which part of the wings was it that wasn't staying where you wanted it to?
The top part of the cassette is you fold it up to make the wings. That both of them.
Oh yeah, those are solid as a rock. Like the joints are all pretty tight on this Ratbat.
They weren't on mine.
Everything. Yeah, but on this reissue, everything fits in place pretty well. So I've got no complaints there. Plus, he's got his gold weapons as well. So that makes him pretty nice indeed. I mean, Ratbat was the reason I wanted the set, simply because of the fact that he's Ratbat.
Yeah.
And I like Ratbat because of the way he was portrayed in the comics, much to Derek Wyatt's chagrin. As he does not like Accountant Ratbat.
Yes, well. Ratbat should either be one of two things, a cassette in G1 or a Keytar in animated.
But both, he should be an accountant.
No.
And run the Decepticons competently, too. He was probably the best leader the Decepticons had. Aside from Bludgeon, he was probably the most effective leader they had. In terms of everything was about cost analysis. He actually ran the Decepticons like a business. The dude was smart about what he did.
Alright, well, as everybody knows, there's very few Transformers comics that I've read, so...
Okay. Well, the IDW's been reissuing them, so I've been reading a lot of them then. But
yeah.
Anyway, so first, the other ones, though, I got him, but then I was pleasantly surprised by a number of other cassettes that were in the set. I'll start with Steeljaw. He turns into a lion. He's one of Blaster's cassettes, comes with his gold weapons. Again, his joints are all really good. The joints on all of these I've got no complaints on. They're nice and tight.
Right.
And they're brand new, so they're nice and tight joints. But Steeljaw, the only thing that kind of slips is that the mane folds up a bit when you transform him, but that doesn't always stay up that easily. But he looks really good. I like the way that his body, a piece of the cassette slides out in order to extend his body a bit. It's a neat touch. And yeah, he's a very good figure.
Yeah, I had the, back when I was a kid, I had I don't have it now, unfortunately, but I had the original Blaster when it first came out, and I had all 4 cassettes, and I don't know where they are now. They're probably died somewhere, I don't know. But yeah, I always did like because I never had Soundwave as a kid. I mean, I love G1 Soundwave now because of the cartoon and because of the movie and all that other stuff. Not the new movies, the original G1 movie. But when I was a kid, I had Blaster, and Blaster was my tape deck, and I loved his cassettes and everything else. So yeah, I really liked Steeljaw when I was a kid.
Oh, he's a good figure. He's got his gold chrome weapons as well, so he looks great. Like really, these are all animal cassettes, all the cassettes in this set, and they're all very good figures. Also, as well as Steeljaw was another one of Blaster's cassettes, an iconic one, Ramhorn.
Yep.
He's pretty good. If memory serves, I think everyone's favorite internet personality, Vangelis. If memory serves, I think he voiced Ramhorn in one of the TFCon audio dramas a couple of years ago. So I think it was him that did Ramhorn. So if he listens to this, he can feel free to correct me. But
I seriously doubt he listens to this show. But
I doubt he has time to listen to the show. So
yeah,
it's because he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ramhorn again. He comes with his gold-chromed weapons, which again look pretty. Again, they look really nice, and he's just a very he's a very nice display piece. I mean, he's got all the Beast Formers have the fully posable legs, so I mean, it's tricky to get them to stand, but you can still get a bit in the way of dynamic posing with them, like more so than with a lot of G1 toys.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons I like the cassettes so much. Like I love the original Ravage.
Yeah, he is pretty good.
Yeah, and then they've all the. Also, I want to note that all the Encores they also have rub signs instead of faction symbols. So if you're a rub sign fan, these are up your alley.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get it to work. It might not work that easily because it's really cold out here, but it works a lot better in the summer. But and I'm having a hard time getting the rub sign to go.
That's fine. I mean, it's not,
But I have tried them before; they do work.
Yeah.
The final one, it's another Decepticon. This one was a very pleasant surprise, and he ended up being a standout in the set for me. He's a lot simpler than Steeljaw and Ramhorn, but he's very cool for one reason, and this one is Slugfest. He turns into a Stegosaur, and he's one of Soundwave's minions. He's a pretty respectable Stegosaur. I mean, he looks the part pretty well. But the thing that I really love about this, and he's modestly posable compared to the other Steeljaw and Ramhorn, because he doesn't have knees.
Yeah.
I mean, that part of that's just because of how short his legs are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not quite as posable as them. He's got his silver chrome weapons. He's the only one that has silver weapons in the set. But I assume that that's accurate to the G1 toy. But the thing that makes him really neat, though, is just the fact that he's probably one of the earlier examples of automorphing in a Transformers toy line.
Right.
Because it says 86 as the copyright date on him, so I guess that's when he came out. But I mean, I could easily be wrong. There's probably some examples of figures which had what we call automorphing in it nowadays. But when you transform him, when you pull the head and tail out, the Stegosaur spines are spring-loaded, and they automatically pop out when you move the head and tail.
So it's basically...
it's automorphing before it was called automorphing.
Right, it's the auto-conversion, like with Voyager Optimus.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
I think a better example would be some of the movie toys, simply because they tended to do this type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's spring-loaded, mind you, but...
Yeah, no, I mean...
I'm just trying to think of a good example of a movie figure. I guess a good example would be, say, like the... one isn't coming to mind right now, but...
That's fine. Really, honestly, outside of, like, the original G1 cassettes, not the newer or later versions that came out, like Slugfest and Squawk Box and Beast Box and Squawk, like, the original cassettes that were introduced up till the movie. Like Frenzy, Rumble, Ravage, Laserbeak, Buzzsaw, Ratbat. Those are the ones that I like. Well, outside of Ratbat, but I mean, as far as characters, those are the ones that I like. And really, honestly, with G1 Soundwave, I just like having them in them. I just like using different cassettes inside of them to show different parts of them. I would like to get that SDCC reissue.
Yeah, that is a nice looking reissue. I got the Toys R Us reissue when that came out with Ravage and Laserbeak. So that one was a good reissue as well. So
Ooh, I just had
That's the double door. That's the double door version, mind you, that has
Yeah.
the Sound Blaster door.
Yeah.
Like the SDCC, if you care more about toy accuracy, to the original,
SDCC
then you
has
got
the
that
same
one.
Yeah.
But he looks pretty good with the double door, though. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's another discussion for another day. But yeah, Slugfest. He looks pretty cool. I really can't wait to get the third set because that has Overkill in it, and I always think of Overkill and Slugfest in the same sentence. So,
Oh, that's cool.
but yeah, like the third set, that one's probably the one that I'm most interested in getting because it is Rumble and Frenzy, and I don't think anyone. And as far as I assumed those molds had been lost or destroyed. So that was a pleasant surprise to see that they were reissuing them.
See, and I don't know a whole lot about toy molds. I will be the first one to admit I know nothing about molds in itself. But I would think that as long as Hasbro owns the rights, like the copyright to the name rights, to that property or to that character, I wouldn't think that they would destroy a mold, especially if they're going to do reissues for it.
Well, no, that's not what... But keep in mind, though, this was back in the 80s, before they would have even thought of reissues.
Right.
The problem with molds being lost or destroyed, what happens is that for getting destroyed, it's because the molds end up getting degraded so much over use that they're no longer useful. It's like what we're seeing slowly happen with the Bruticus mold, in that with its latest reissue, it's degraded... It's degraded a lot, my understanding is, from the original. Like, those molds barely have any use left in them. They probably shouldn't have been used again, actually, but...
Yeah.
Because it's easily the most abused of the G1 combiner molds.
Yeah.
But in the case of Rumble Frenzy, though, and what happens when they get lost is there were certain molds, like I think Sunstreakers, the original, where Hasbro, Takara don't have them anymore because they got lost or when they were changing factories or something like that, or maybe there was a fire or something, or they didn't. Whatever case, they don't have their hands on the mold anymore through circumstances beyond their control. Like another example, a more recent example of this would be that after the one BotCon where they did the. I'm trying to remember the line, but it was one of the Beast Wars lines where they did the exclusive Tigatron at that convention.
Wasn't that Dawn of Futures Past?
No. That you're thinking of the Beast Wars pre-Beast Wars. I'm thinking of the one that was it was a repaint of the retool of Ravage that they did from Transmetal Cheetor for Takara. But the reason that we haven't seen that mold anymore is partly because they don't have it anymore. The mold got misplaced or lost at some point after it got made for the convention.
Okay.
So that's why we haven't seen any more of that figure. Because, I mean, I'm sure I wouldn't have been surprised if Hasbro had released that in like a reissue line or in Universe or something like that, simply because of the demand.
Yeah, and it's like, it's like I've said before and other people have said before on this show recently. No matter what Hasbro said the middle or end of last year about Universe possibly going away, why would they make a business decision to put away a Transformers Universe line where you can pretty much release anything under it?
Well, they didn't say Universe was going away. The way they phrased it as in it was coming back after.
Okay, right, it is. But what I'm saying is, at the time that happened, it was my understanding that because the Revenge of the Fallen line was coming out, they were going to they were going to do away with Universe until
they put it on hold until that one was over. And I don't blame them for that business decision.
Well, I don't either, but I'm just saying I think they could have phrased it better, because the way I heard it, they said that Universe was going away permanently. That's the way I heard it back when they had first talked about it. I could have misunderstood or misheard it, but that's the way I understood it. But I'm glad that it's coming back.
Maybe you misheard then, because Universe. I don't think they were planning on getting rid of it. Heck, even at BotCon, they were showing designs for the next wave of Universe. So
yeah.
And they pretty much said it was. They said it was going on hiatus. They didn't say it was going away.
Right.
They explicitly said the line wasn't being canceled. If they said the line was canceled or shelved, then that would be a very different thing.
True.
But instead they said it was going away, which implies that it's coming back.
Right.
But yeah, these cassettes, though, they're really nice figures. I really like the G1 tapes, simply because of the fact that they're transforming tapes. Something that we need to see more of.
See,
just in terms of spirit.
I would have liked... Now, this is just what I would have liked. I know it's not going to happen now, because obviously animated is done with, but I would have liked it if they would have kept Soundwave as the tape deck and used tapes instead of keytars. That's just my own personal opinion. I know it's not going to happen now since animated is done, but when I believe it was the first episode that Soundwave was in, he was shown in an animated style G1 cassette deck.
Yes,
form.
they did that as a homage.
Right.
But,
and then at the end of one of the episodes, I don't remember if it was the one in... I don't remember if it was Sound and Fury or if it was Human Error Part 2.
yeah, he looks like music label Soundwave.
Right. So, just me personally, I wish that, like, for the toy and the design for the cartoon, I wish they would have kept the tape deck. You know, granted, you can make the argument that, not a lot of kids these days know what a tape deck is. Well,
You make it very successfully, too.
Well, exactly. Teach them what a tape deck is.
Well, why do they need to know what a tape deck is?
I don't know. For some odd reason, I don't know, just some people just don't. And, I want to say this, I'm a kid of the 80s. I grew up, like, when Beta was going out and VHS was coming in. So, being born in 1980, I had an advantage of knowing about all this stuff that went on in that decade. Mm-hmm. Kids that were born after, like, 1991, I would say, have no idea. Because CD players were just starting to get big. And
I'd say later, because I guess my brother was 1990, but we knew what tapes were, so.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know, for some odd reason, I keep hearing that, we're not going to make Soundwave a tape deck anymore, we're not making this SUV because kids know what a car is now, they don't really remember tape decks.
Well, the thing is, though, I actually like the way they did it in animated because they showed that really, the reason that we haven't seen a Soundwave for so long as a character is because he's so linked with the tape deck image that they've had a really hard time figuring out a way to get a recognizable Soundwave out there. That's really I think that's the reason we haven't seen much of Soundwave, quite honestly. With animated, they created a figure that evoked Soundwave, and then, it was a very clever transformation, I thought. So,
I don't.
Instead of his chest being the cassette door, his chest is the back of the car.
No, I don't like that because, animated did it very well with keying in on the homage design of, again, it's in the animated style, but it's technically it's an homage to G1 Soundwave. They did it very well. I don't see why they couldn't have released, even if they did it as a store exclusive or a convention exclusive, I don't see why they couldn't have released a cassette deck version of animated Soundwave. I'm sorry, the animated...
That was music label Soundwave.
But it's not in the animated style, though, is it?
It's close enough. It's a box. It's close enough. It's hard to animatize a box.
Well, okay.
I'm just saying that the animated figure. The music label is a perfectly fine stand-in if you really care about that. Yeah. But with Soundwave, Hasbro's clearly been experimenting with updating. Like, for instance, where he was a satellite in the Revenge of the Fallen movie. Honestly, going off the design we saw for the truck mode that they had for Soundwave, going off that robot, that was a freaking awesome update, and you could tell that they were putting a lot of thought into trying to create a Soundwave that evoked the original. You look at the toy that Hasbro put out, the original Deco, and yeah, it's clear that this is Soundwave. Looking at the robot mode, there's no question it's Soundwave.
You mean the animated version?
No, I mean the movie Revenge of the Fallen. They paid attention to get the head right. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The head is unquestionably Soundwave.
Right.
And the chest has plenty of Soundwave elements on it as well.
Yeah, I don't even. I don't want to count the movie, though, because the movie, with the movies, I've tried not to be, oh my god, it's not G1. I've really tried my damnedest, and I like both films. I really do. Other than the fact that I think the stories are kind of screwed up, I like all the action that are in both of the films, but, I'm talking about as far as cartoon design versus toy, not the actual movie. So, I don't know. But anyway, do you have anything else to say about the cassettes?
I guess one thing I'll say is that this is just a prediction of mine based off of just on speculate. Like, I've got nothing to go off here. Mm-hmm. But just I have a feeling that we're going to see a new Soundwave in the near future. Not Sound Blaster, but new Soundwave. Mm-hmm. Apology to just make a reference to the infamous dub of the Headmasters cartoon.
Right.
But anyway, I have a feeling that Hasbro wants to update the tapes somehow, but they haven't been able to figure out how. And I have a feeling we're going to see something in the Power Core Combiners line that is going to involve the cassettes.
Yeah, I could see that.
I wouldn't mind seeing a sound, like, for instance, suppose we get a Soundwave where the cassettes are, say, his Minicons or his Minicon equivalents or something like that, like they turn into weapons or storage or store in the back of the car or something like that.
Well, see, what I wouldn't mind with a Soundwave was if he's not going to be a tape deck in the new toy line, that's fine. But if he's some sort of iPod holder and the cassettes or the cassette characters are like iPod Nanos, that would be cool.
They kind of did that with Music Label with the Rumble Frenzy headphones.
Well,
but I mean, one thing they could always do, though, just idle speculation, if they stick with the movie and say make him a satellite, they could always make the cassettes turn into pieces of the satellite.
Yeah, that's true.
And that would be a clever way to do it as well. Yes. I personally think the truck would work better simply because I think that offers the most bulk. If you've ever seen Don Figueroa's design for an alternator Soundwave, I think that would be a very good starting place. And Animated Soundwave used elements of that in its design, because Don's was a van where the back of the car is upside down in the robot mode, and the trunk open, and the trunk forms the tape deck holder, which was a very clever update, I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see a Soundwave like that, and maybe have the Rumble include. He'd probably have Laserbeak with him, but I'd love to see Rumble and Frenzy make their way back into the toy line somehow. Maybe even set it up so that they both combine into one common weapon or something like that. That would be very cool to have them combine.
Okay. Alright, so I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for joining us here on ToyCast. There are several ways to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show. First is you can visit www.geekcastradio.com, find all the other GCRN podcasts there. The second is you can stop by PredicateEmpire.com/Nexus. Those are our forums. The third is you can leave the show feedback in iTunes. Please do this. The fourth is you can visit yet another great geek culture website, www.earth-2.net. In their forums, you can find our threads for the shows in the self-promotion section. And the fifth is the email address, which is tftoycast@gmail.com. We now have a voicemail line. Call us and leave us your thoughts on each episode. Be sure to say which show you're leaving the message for and your name. The number is 502-526-5821. You can also follow us on Twitter. The show name there is TFToycast. Mine is TFG1Mike, and what is your Twitter?
Mine is General Techno.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of ToyCast and wish you'll join us next time. Be sure to visit our sponsors, www.bigbadtoystore.com, for all your Transformers toy needs and more. For now, I am TFG1Mike with General Techno saying the immortal words of Optimus Prime, transform and roll out, and thank you for listening. Until next time.
This is Optimus Prime, and you're listening to All Things Transformers with Steve Megatron and TFG1 Mike. Transform and roll out!
Soon it will be a new year, a new decade, and that means a new Transformers review podcast from the minds that brought you the TFG1 podcast and All Things Transformers. Coming January 11th, 2010 is the Beast Unleashed podcast. This will feature Steve Megatron, Pecan Court Michael, and TFG1 Mike. 30 pulse-pounding, discussion-filled episodes covering both Beast Wars and Beast Machines. This is the first ever Beast Wars Review Podcast. So unleash the beast in you. You can find us on iTunes and the web at www.geekcastradio.com. The TFG1 Podcast has 24 action-packed discussion episodes on the original Transformers cartoon. So if you're a fan of the 80s cartoon, we have all you need and more, as well as an interview with Stan Bush. You can find us on iTunes and the web at www.geekcastradio.com. Tune in. ToyCast is all new as we have transformed and transcended from just being Transformers ToyCast into ToyCast. We'll talk about any toy line from any generation, even Rock'em Sock'em Robots. You can find us on iTunes and the web at www.geekcastradio.com. Start being a kid again and keep collecting those toys. Moo ha 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 ha.